Welcome to the Safely Embodied Online Community video series, and this is a video on belongingness. It's one of the basic skill sets of the Becoming Safely Embodied skills that I created, and my name is Deirdre Fay. And I created the site safelyembodied.com as well as the Becoming Safely Embodied skills. You're probably wondering what I mean by the whole idea of belongingness and belonging. It's actually something that I got from a conversation I had with a poet named David White. If you haven't read any of his books, you might want to read some of his poetry. It's really, really quite wonderful. And I was talking to him one day, and David said, well, we all belong somewhere to something and to people, to someone or to groups of people. And we all have different ideas of what that might be like. And I thought of the people I worked with, and I had this conversation with him when I was working at McLean Hospital, which is a big psychiatric hospital in the Boston area. And the people that I was working with were trauma and dissociation clients who were really suffering heavily from anxiety and depression and other symptoms of PTSD. And I thought, you know what, David's right. Everyone has connections to people, places, and things they belong to. It's just sometimes it's not what we want them to be. And what David had pointed out to me in the conversation is people might belong to McLean Hospital. They might belong to their depression, their anxiety. And out of that conversation with him was born one of the fundamental Becoming Safely Embodied skills on belonging. And the intention of the practice is to develop a sense of connection, a sense of our own knowing that we belong to people, places, and things. It's a major benefit that offsets isolation and loneliness and alienation that we all suffer through as we're on our healing journey. It also helps us connect to something larger than us, which you might call your higher power, your God, or source energy, or universe. We'll have different words for what that means, but it's something that's larger than our own individual personality. Belongingness also creates opportunities for us to articulate and reflect on what's important to us. And it promotes our appreciation for our life right now. I've had people in various groups come up with different ideas of what belongingness might be for them. One beautiful one was a woman who talked of the garden that she grew up in Italy with her grandmother, where she felt really safe. And she brought in for us a sprig of rosemary that reminded her of the smells of that garden. Another person brought in stories of the moon and watching the skies overhead at night. Another person brought in a whole series of shells to describe a magical summer that she had experienced. One woman who had forgotten to bring something to the group that time brought in a set of keys. She reached into her pocket and said, well, this shows all the places where I belong. My gym, the supermarket, my house, my work keys. And another woman brought in a bicycle. That's how she got around in the world, and that was what was important to her. It's true that when we begin to foster our sense of belongingness, we begin to reconnect with what's really important to us, and we begin to value what the inherent meanings that are there. The positive connections and associations we have to those buffer out the feelings of isolation and aloneness that are the legacy of trauma. You know, and if you think you can't think of anything, well, what's true is we're all like Mary Poppins. We all have things that we can reach into our pockets and find, our wallets, our cell phones, our purses, and we come up with pictures of things that are important to us. For many of us, it's going to include our pets. There might be pictures, even pictures on our bodies. Many of us have had tattoos done of things that are important to us. Or we might have pictures, or we might have seen something this morning on the way to work. And then there's always the cell phone that we can reach into and find the stories and pictures of what's true and meaningful to us. So imagine interacting from this place where you belong, where you feel safe, where people see the best in you, and you know that you see the best in them. Where you cultivate a mindset of care, compassion, and kindness. Where you know that your differences are valued and heard, and you can respect those in other people as well. That's what's possible when you share from this kind of authentic place of belongingness. On the Safely Embodied online community, we practice not only the internal skills of becoming safely embodied, but also the relational skills that help you feel connected, supported, and cared about. So take some time to think about where you belong and to whom you belong, and then take some time on the forum and share with us who you are and what's meaningful to you. It's really a great way to introduce yourself, and we look forward to getting to know you.